Welcome to Hashtag with Nakabuye. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Nakabuye, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. If you were present for the How Digitally Fit Are You podcast live recording event or listened to the 100th episode that was published last week, you have been anticipating this episode. I promise that we shall have a follow-up episode with a mental health professional who wasn't able to make it on the D-Day. So here I am with Lorna Nakabuye from Kampala Counseling Services. Lorna, welcome to Hashtag with Nakabuye. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You were supposed to be with us on Women's Day.
No.
But life happened.
Life happens, man. Life happens. We all have those days where it's just like, okay, today is not the day. And I'm glad that we're able to make this up and excited.
Right. So, brief introduction, talk about KCS, and then we get into what has brought us today.
Oh, yeah. Brief introduction. Lorna Nakabuye is my name. Founder of Kampala Counseling Services. I am a mental health practitioner by profession. And yes, like I said, founder of Kampala Counseling Services. It offers outpatient therapy services to individuals suffering from different kinds of mental illnesses. So be it depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, all the above, personality disorders, and all that stuff. Yeah.
I had muted myself. So, Kampala Counseling Services, like you had heard me talk about the event, are the people that made sure that the podcast live recording on How Digitally Fit Are You comes to life. So thank you, first of all.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you for coming on board. But yeah, like we said, life happened. She wasn't able to make it. So what she was supposed to handle that day was the side of mental health. When you talk about online gender-based violence, I think one of the things that we really dismiss is the fact that violence online does affect people in a way. It might not be physical, but the emotional well-being or psychological well-being of someone gets affected. And that's the session that Lorna was supposed to cover. But here we are. Back. We asked for your questions. You sent them in. And shout out to Sita Victoria. She shared her specific questions. Yeah, we're going to be catering to them. And let's dive into it. If you really want to know more about Lorna, please check out episode 85. There is a big introduction and history and everything. You need to respect her, my friend. Episode 85 is going to give you everything. So, Lorna, welcome back. And where do we start?
Well, I guess we could just start from... I was thinking it'd be helpful to have some examples of gender-based violence, online gender-based violence, because when you sometimes say, online gender-based violence, but what is that? Because when you hear, violence, gender-based violence, you probably think it's something physical.
Yeah, battering.
Right. So I thought it would be just something good to highlight some examples. And, we've been talking, this is violence that is happening online. And it could come in different forms. Could be on WhatsApp, basically social media like Twitter, Instagram, all the social media pages, platforms we have. So one example could be bullying. We've all heard about cyberbullying. You make a post and someone is just coming in your comments, just tearing you apart or threatening you, we'll shut you down, stuff like that. They're just really trying to bully you to kind of back down, especially people who are just targeting women because they know we might be a little softer.
Right.
So they're if I push too much, maybe she'll get to a point, and then when they see that you're not backing down, they come now attack you maybe physical appearance or your personal life. So things like that will just get you to just back down. So it takes a really strong person to kind of keep it going. So bullying is one of them, and sexual harassment. like making unnecessary like remarks. You know, you post a picture of yourself online, just an innocent picture.
Right.
And then someone is like coming in the comments talking about like, oh, this is how you look. And oh, like this is big and this is small, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, I did not call for that. Like this is unnecessary.
Right.
It's just so uncomfortable. It's just, ugh.
Can I raise my hand?
Please go for it, because
Me teacher.
yes, please go for it.
So you've talked about, I had shared the first beat where I was talking about someone, when you talked about will shut you down. I shared an image. I don't know which year it was. It must have been 2021 or last year. I don't know. And I was making fun of ashy feet that the men carry around. And someone came to my, can you imagine? You're just calling for people to oil their feet.
I know.
And someone says that you have now become a feminist.
Like what is feminist about? Like just put some lotion on your feet.
Before then you were a cool person, but you've become a feminist. We shall shut you down like we shut down the other people. And I was like, are you kidding?
That's bullying. That's like textbook definition
are you
of bullying.
kidding? Like, I don't know when this happened, but I don't think this is gonna go out of my mind. When I hear his name, that's the first thing that I remember.
Right.
We are going to shut you down. Like, what the heck? This is not a trend.
Right. And that, like the fact that it still comes up in your mind when you think that name or when you hear that name, it shows how big of an impact it had on you. Because if it was just something small, it would probably just be like, oh, I'll just brush it off. Let's move on. Like, I forgot about that. But if it's still in your mind,
I don't move on.
It was
with
heavy.
Bullies. I don't move on with bullies.
Right.
I've been silenced by bullies in primary school.
Right.
I think my turning point around that kind of environment must have been when I was entering teenage. Because I say to myself at the age of 13, I'm not going to be bullied again.
Right.
So my route to that was I'm going to be stubborn so that I'm untouchable. So when I also look at my first 4 years of secondary school, I'm like, hey, that was something.
And it's a trauma response. It's a trauma response. And it's like, that's how your body decides to protect itself and your mind decides to protect itself. Because it's like, if you've been bullied so much, you're like, okay, one way I'm not going to be bullied is by being, getting some thick skin. And
I was breaking the laws.
Right. Because it's like, you have to let it out somehow. You're just like, I'm going to show everyone that I'm tough. Yeah. So just so no one is messing with me. It's a trauma response. It's very understandable. So it just is like, people just need to like really just get on with their lives about like, what's the point of like, are you that bored to like come for people online? And it's
insecure.
Right. That's another thing.
Not bored.
Yeah. It
could be both.
Yeah, there's that too. Because now like people have this shield. Like social media gives people this shield of like, you can't see me, you don't know where I am.
Oh,
so I'm probably using a fake account. So I'm just going to say what I need to say. And I know you're not going to like do anything to me. So it gives them this shield that they can hide behind.
Right.
Which is sad. It's really sad. So, because they could be going through some things, maybe some depression or like some frustration from something. And they're just like, let me just let it out. And so ineffective for you to let it out by bullying someone else.
Yeah. See, the other part where you're talking about posting an innocent picture.
Right.
I had a period when I felt like I can't post my images anymore because it felt like there is a normalized culture of sexualizing women. But right now I'm also seeing women doing that to the men. And I'm like, what the heck?
Like I said, sometimes it's a trauma response.
No.
You're like, if they can do it, we can do it too. It's sad.
So I had a period and I don't know how long that took, maybe 2 years. And I was like, I'm not going to post my full images again. They're just going to see the face. Anything below the neck, not so much.
Right.
Even for just the face, I posted and then someone commented, Chino and Shidia. And that was really common it was mostly common in the context of kanonkalia.
Right.
I can eat this person, but eating,
Right, we all know what that means.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't think I want that.
Right.
And when I was talking to a friend last year, I shared my sentiments around that. And he said, it's very unfortunate that you have all the features that are going to invite those kinds of comments. And I reached a period when I admired the girls that post their full images. I was like, hey, mama. Like, I really admired them. Like, hey, mama, you're lucky. Me, I cannot do that. I saw myself doing that. I would scroll and be like, hey, she's lucky. She can post her full image. But then when I would open her comment section, I'm still seeing these comments.
Right.
And she's going with the ride. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's nice, but I don't think I can manage that comment section. There's a time when I posted a picture of myself fully dressed with other guys around, and this person goes like, because I think the dress was like an inch. Is this like an inch above the knees? And some guy was like, I don't even know him. He goes like, thigh power.
Oh my goodness.
I felt undressed.
Right.
I felt naked. I had just accepted him and I was getting to know him like virtually. I was like, good riddance. I deleted him from my friend list. Like, I always laugh at myself like I'm the total opposite of what I should be doing. I should be looking for more numbers, but I keep deleting people. Like,
sometimes it's not about the numbers. It's like it has an impact on who you are. And it's like you'll get the numbers that you need of people that actually like appreciate what you have to offer. You know? It's so uncomfortable, and we've given it so much of a pass that we're like normalizing that, oh, these comments are made, oh, this is nothing, like, you know, you're not the first person, you're not the last one.
Someone told me I should take the compliment that girls are looking for that.
Oh my goodness.
And I felt like I am the weird person.
No, you're not weird. And it's like they make it sound like this is something that we're looking for. Like, no, I'm putting my picture up just so I can share like the good day that I had.
Right.
I'm not calling for any of your like comments. You know, I don't care what you have to say about what I look like. And it's so sad, and it's harder for like women to not take that personally because society has created like, you know, like beauty standards. You're supposed to look this way, you're supposed to look that way. You know, your body is supposed to be this size, your chest is supposed to be this size. Like, there's standards to that. And if you fall out of any of those standards, they're going to come for you. And even if you fit within those, you know, quote unquote standards, they still will find something to come for you.
Right.
And, you know, as women, we are just a little bit more sensitive about how we look. So it's like they know what will get to you. And it's just so uncomfortable, and they just don't get it. Like, people just don't... I could go on and on about these things, but it's just...
The floor is open.
It's just so unwanted remarks that you read every day, or like you see pictures of women that have been posted or like shared, like nude pictures shared on social media, and they're just going around in all the groups. You know, everyone has something to say about everything.
Someone is in the comment section, send it.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, like, let me see the video, let me see the picture. Like, where is it? Like, oh, DM me for this. And it's like, how did we get here? Like, it's just so sad. And I always think, like, let's say, you know, this is your sister, this is your mom, this is your partner that they're just putting all over social media. How would you feel? You know, like, this person is working or just walking around or at work or whatever it is, and everyone's just looking at them pretty much like looking at the picture that was shared on social media. Like, it's just so disrespectful, and some people just don't get it. Like, we've just given everything a pass on social media because they're just some miserable people that just... All right. It's just really sad. And these are things that are happening, and they're really having major impacts on people and their mental health. And sometimes you don't even realize, you know, like, you know, the example that you gave that you are so uncomfortable sharing a full picture of yourself. Probably before then, you're just like, I'm just not comfortable. And you didn't think much of it.
I didn't.
Exactly. But when you look back and you're like, wow, they really had an impact on me that even if I really wanted to share, I was scared.
I would have to first look at the image like, okay, so what are they going to pick on?
Exactly.
And then I'll see here the bum. The bum is showing. No. The hips are overshowing. No.
And it's like, this is your body. Like, this is like,
you grow to hate it.
Like, this is me. These are my genes. This is what God gave me, and I should be happy and proud of them. If my friend next to me is a little bit slimmer than I am, that's her.
Right.
Like, we're all different people, and people should just get to to just understand that this is just how it is. Like, move on. Just chill. But anyway, going just further with examples, I think we talked a little bit about almost all of them. There's body shaming, that is online gender-based violence. It's very common with, women. There's threats, like it could be like death threats or like threats of like physical violence. Let's say someone is like, oh, I know where you live, or I know where you work, blah, blah, blah. And then so I'll come find you and stuff like that. Please, guys, don't take this lightly. Like these things are real. So it's like, and then there's hate speech. Hate speech could be like a target to maybe your skin color. It could be, like you say, body size, something to do with like maybe like your culture or, anything that pertains to who you are, what you look like, or like what you identify as. And then there's like blackmailing. Someone has some information on you, like maybe some personal information or like pictures. And then they like, if you don't give me this, I'm going to post this. All that is just violence. And it's so common in an era where the social media is just a big thing. So it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. Because social media is just growing. People are finding more ways to...
There's always a new platform.
There's always a new platform. There's always a way people can create like fake accounts and all those things. And the thing is though, we as a people, we are attracted to social media. It's hard to stay away from it. So it's hard to stay away from this violence, from different people that are just ruining the whole look for everyone else. Yeah.
So if for the part where we are talking about how grave this kind of violence is when it comes to someone's mental or emotional well-being, how is it? Because I think someone would really ask the way how they usually let it pass and say, it's nothing serious. People overuse that word. Social media is not serious.
It's actually serious.
It is.
If it wasn't serious, people wouldn't be, feeling the way they feel when comments are made. If for something that's not serious, then it's like, well, then why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like I can't post anything? Then that means it's serious. And like you said, like sometimes people will tell you these things. Oh, you're not the first one. It's very dismissive of how you're feeling. So it then makes you gaslight yourself to think, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. You end up gaslighting yourself and then you're just like, okay, maybe like, let me not think too much into it. But when really, how you're feeling about this, in your gut, like this thing is just troubling you to the core. So because of people in your ear, like, don't take it seriously. People are always saying these things. And then it's like, well, if someone is threatening that, they're going to come to my house or they're going to come to my workplace and do all these things, why wouldn't I take it serious?
That. When you're giving the examples, let's talk about what might come out of that. Because when you're talking about a threat of someone coming to your house, I'm going as far as anxiety.
Right, exactly.
So I want to leave the floor for you, the professional.
Okay.
Please take us through that.
Okay. Yeah. Anxiety is a very big one because now you're trying to figure out who this person is. How do they know my place? Are they like always watching me? So you're always on alert.
Right.
You're walking down the street, going to your home or your room, whatever it is. And you're like, is it this person? Or is it this one? Or is it this one? So then you find yourself not even leaving the house or like leaving at like odd hours just so you make sure that no one is seeing you. You're questioning everyone in your environment. Maybe you're ending up not going to work and you're just like, not hanging out with friends because you're so anxious. You don't know who this person is, how they got to know your information. And you're just like scared that anytime they could just jump out and, get to you. Because for someone to tell you that they know where you live and you have no idea who this person is, it's scary. It's scary. It's honestly very scary. So anxiety is one thing. You'll find yourself like just maybe like always double checking if you've locked your doors or, who is around you, who is behind you. Is it this border guy? Is it this person? You're just on alert and it's no way to live. It's very uncomfortable. You literally you're not living your life.
Yeah.
And then other things could be depression. Depression is a big thing. Body shaming.
Yeah.
If you're coming for this person and they're probably feeling already a little bit insecure about what they look like, and you're just kind of like nailing it more by attacking them online about what they look like, they're going to retract and they'll just withdraw. And they're thinking, I'm ugly. or like I'm just not fit to be in society or something like that. So they're just going to like withdraw and just feel really sad, go in like a state of depression. And, you know, this is where like suicidal ideation comes in, because then, or like self-harm behavior. I've had a lot of clients that end up self-harming because of what they look like, you know, or what they've been told they look like. So they're like, oh, if I only do this to my body, maybe it will change. You know, you're going into eating disorders where it's like someone is maybe told you're on the heavier end and now they're starving, intentionally starving themselves because they want to look slimmer. And it's very unhealthy, you know, or someone that's slim and they're like, now I'm going to just eat a lot.
You know, it's important that you highlight the part of body shaming and the slimmer ones. I've been gigantic. Right now I'm not, okay? I've calmed down. Like, I've said it and I've seen your face.
I'm like, okay.
I was really gigantic. I didn't feel it as a kid because I think I just never cared about how I look. I think they never oversaid it. Yeah, I used to hear people ask my mom for my real age, which implied that I looked bigger than my age, but I didn't feel it until recently when I was looking through the albums and I found myself standing next to my classmate. Yo! I was like, oh my God. I was up there and she was short. I was like, dude, I was really big.
And you know, the funny, like you say that, you said that you didn't feel it because you were just being you. You're just innocent mind, you know, just going about your day, going to school.
No, but then I'm also wondering, why wasn't I wondering why were my classmates down there?
Because it wasn't a big deal to you. Like
Exactly.
sometimes these things are brought into our minds, but by the people around us. Like we ourselves could be like just not really worried about what we look like. You're comfortable in your skin, especially as kids. They're innocent beings. They have nothing to do with their...
They're kids that have to carry that burden.
Right.
Because the kids that were bullying me for that, because the irony in that was that I was the youngest and yet the biggest. Oh, they bullied me for that.
That's so sad.
So why I was bringing up this is I found a cousin. I had gone to their home and it had been a while since I last saw her. And she was so tiny. And I was like, oh my God, I want that.
Right.
I need to be a little smaller.
Right. Because of like the information that has been fed. It's so
Wait
sad.
a minute. And then she told me she was sad. She was like, I want to be bigger. I'm tired of people saying that I look like a senior 3.
Oh.
Now, me, it wasn't serious. Like, I don't care, I think. Now, for her, it was serious. She was telling me, I make sure that I eat porridge every day. I make sure I eat all the food. Like, it was coming from a place of sadness.
Sadness, right.
And every time I remember that, I become sad. Like, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I might joke about it. Yeah, I know I want to go to gym, yeah. But then there is someone who is really struggling with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are telling me to get smaller, but then there is a smaller person who is
Trying to get bigger.
struggling.
Yeah. And it's a real thing. I like that you bring that up because most of the times when we're talking about body shaming, we're focusing on people that are on the heavier end. And most times people who are slimmer are kind of like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And yet really they experience body shaming as well. So, because when we're in, primary 6, around that time, that's when you start learning about like science, body changes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they're telling you like, oh, a girl, when they get to this age, their hips are going to get wider and their chest is going to be bigger and their butt and like all those physical changes. And you could be seeing them in some of your classmates. And then you could be seeing someone that is a little bit like smaller and they're probably taking longer to get to that point just because of their genes.
Right.
But in that moment, you're just thinking like, why am I not seeing my hips getting wider?
Oh, yeah.
Why am I not seeing? Why am I like everyone is making fun of you? And it's so sad. And yet really you have no control. We tend to forget that with genes, we have no control. If you are meant to be a tiny person, you're meant to be that, and it's so sad that people are just like, they make you feel bad for something you cannot control. And like you said, your cousin, she's trying to drink porridge and do all these things, and
because there's a period when she had gotten big, and then when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, like she was so little, like
right,
I hugged her, I was like, oh my God, I want to be you.
Because for the longest time, the beauty standards were like you have to be small. and this is just not like beauty standards in Uganda. There are beauty standards all over the world. We're looking at magazines and we're seeing models that are skinny, tall. So if you're anything outside of that, you're quote unquote not beautiful. And yet now times are changing where now people are appreciating their curves more, and people that are not naturally curvy are feeling like, oh, now I'm not beautiful enough. This is where you're seeing people going for like surgery and blah, blah, blah.
And now do you know where that is leading us? There's a time when I walked past a border stage and the guy was like, twajirwa fako. Like, dude, I'm not using anything.
I know, this is just me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, body shaming goes both ways. Like you gave a good example of like, border guys or like, taxi. Like they always have something to say about, be it if you're big, they'll have something to say. If you're tiny, they'll have something to say about it. So that shows you that it goes both ways. Like it's just not, it's not just for the bigger people. It's for the smaller people as well. So this stuff gets to you, especially because you have no control. If we had control, I mean, to some extent, we do have a little bit of control, but we cannot control genes.
Right.
You could go to the gym, and look fit, whatever it is. If genetically you're meant to be like, your genes are you're just a bigger person. That's just what it is, So it's just really sad. And for small people out there that are experiencing this body shame, you're definitely not alone. And it's so sad that we have these standards worldwide. And it's like, if you don't fit in either of that, boxes, then you're just like, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
Terrible. Terrible. But, like I was saying, this causes a lot of eating disorders, a lot of stress. You're thinking, like you said, when someone is threatening you online, you're stressed. You are stressed out because you're thinking, who is it? Someone could be a regular friend, could just come and talk to you and just like, is this person? You can't even focus on a conversation because you're thinking, is this, you're so paranoid. And it's so stressful that's no way to live.
Yeah.
Another thing is it does cause a lot of trauma. Like using your example of like, you'll never forget that statement, that comment.
I don't know if I will.
It was traumatic. And there's so many other people that are going through different types of trauma. If your nude pictures are online, that's traumatic. When things go online, you cannot take them down. They're going to be on there for years and years. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
So we're looking at stress, trauma, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, because then you're thinking like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. If I could just not be here, not deal with this pain and all this stress, maybe I would be good. So it's just, going down, just the rabbit hole. It's just stressful.
Yeah.
Another thing is like, you're not even sleeping well. You're going through social media so much that you're sleeping late because you're just scrolling. That's one thing. You're not sleeping well because you're stressed out.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping well because you're depressed. You're not sleeping well because you're anxious. You're like, did I lock my door? What did I hear? Did someone come in? You're so paranoid that you can't even sleep. You can't focus on anything else. But, you're just a threat. And these threats could be, threaten you online and leave it there.
Yeah.
And other people do actually put it in action. They could really know where you live. They could really know where you are.
The threats might not culminate into physical, violence, right? But someone can decide to torment you.
Right.
Online.
Yes. Blackmail.
It might not be a fear of, hey, this person might show up, but people like that guy, when he said that we shall. Meanwhile, I was asking, so who else?
Right. Where's the team? Who else is in this?
And I was asking myself, okay, so what do I arm myself with?
Right.
Who else is coming on board? Are they having a meeting?
And it's like, if you didn't have thick skin, you'd probably have backed down.
Yeah, you'll be like, I'm off social media. And this is the thing that we're advocating for Women's Day. We're trying to make sure that digital spaces have women as well. Because we find that we are silencing ourselves because of, I learned a new word, self-censorship.
That's a thing. That is a thing.
Exactly. You find yourself keeping quiet on these spaces because there is a man who is silencing you, or feel like, hey, I'm not beautiful enough for me to be on these spaces.
I'm not smart enough to say something. Yeah.
But we want to have digital spaces that have women as well. If a man can post their image and all the comments are about, oh man, you look good, you look good, you look good. Hey, how you doing? And all those kinds of things. I don't know how guys comment on fellow guys.
Maybe their outfits.
I'm not very sure. I'm trying to find examples, but
Most probably like outfits, because then that's a whole other conversation.
Like, bro, that's cool. Bro, where did you,
nice
where did
shoes.
you? Exactly. Yeah. Or, hey, yeah, you look good in what happened that day. Do you want to talk about it? And things like that. Other than, Kano Kalia, dude.
Right.
Dude.
That's the sad part. It's always women that are getting this type of comments.
No, and they flow with it.
Of course they do.
That makes you self-doubt.
Yeah.
Because now I was like, I think I'm the problem.
And it's so sad. They don't realize how big of an impact it has on people. And especially like a very tricky time for people to really take that to heart is like teenage age. Teenagers, this is when you are getting to know who you are.
Yeah.
This is when your body is changing. So you're very sensitive to any comment someone will make about, who you are as a person, what you look like. So when things like that, and the sad part is like people like teenagers or people even younger, they have access to social media so easily.
Children.
And it's sad because you don't know, like, let's say as parents, like they don't know what these people are going through, or scrolling through, who is commenting on their pictures, or, so it's like how they're feeling about it. So you find your child changing the way they dress, feeling like withdrawn, and you're like, I wonder what's going on. And yet really they're being bullied online for what they look like. So now they're covering up more or dressing, less clothes because they just want to fit a certain beauty standard. And it's so sad. It's really sad. And I always tell parents, just pay attention to your child, especially teenagers. When you feel like something in their behavior is changing, for someone that didn't usually used to cover up, they're covering up a little bit more of they're wearing big hoodies or big clothes. Maybe it's just, it could be just oh yeah, this is just what I want. Usually there's something a tiny bit deeper in there.
There is something.
And maybe this is a whole different conversation we're going into.
No, it's necessary because it's going as far as how do these online spaces affect us physically? We're talking about how we're dismissive of its gravity.
Right.
Because when you mention the part of the children, there is a social media family. Did I say it's online family? They share content as a family, and the mother is Asian and their kid's dad is black. But this child was, I don't know what, Americans have so many things going on. They have those spaces. I don't know what the kid was on. I don't remember the name, but she had connected with other kids in another country, I think, or state. And the moment the other kid realized that this is not a white child, she started dragging her. And this kid is not even 12, I think.
That's so sad.
And she was crying and crazy.
It is crazy. And that's the thing. Young people have access to social media. It's hard to know what they're looking at. And so you find yourself your kid is going through some things, some changes, maybe some anxiety. They don't want to go to school anymore. They don't want to be around a certain, relative anymore. Or they're just dressing differently, not being so active in maybe sports or something that they were very interested in. And it could just go down to maybe someone made a comment online and they're just maybe I need to change something about myself. And there's people that will go as deep as, let's say I'm being vulnerable online and I'm going through, talking about what I'm going through. Let's say, I'm having a hard time with I'm depressed or I'm super anxious or I was bullied. Just telling your story, and people out there could just be so mean and just say well, let's say if you're having suicidal ideation, they'll go as far as well, then do it, Right. And it's just you don't realize that your comment could be the last thing to just actually push them to going through with their plan. And you're just saying it like, ha ha ha. Oh my God. Like, that just reminds me, I was going through someone's WhatsApp one time, 2 people now. I was going through their WhatsApp status, and I think it was after like a game, like a soccer game or something. And they were sharing pictures of, it's just, as a therapist, it breaks my heart even just saying this. They were sharing pictures of ropes.
Yeah.
I had to reach out to this person. I was like, you need to take this down, because this sends a very, like, I know you put it like the comment you're putting, it's like, ha ha ha, this is not funny. This is not funny because there's someone that's going to look at your status update, and maybe they were just like waiting for like, they're like on 99%, and that 1% is what you just posted. And then I was looking at, same thing, this was more recent, and this one was sharing, it was as if like an Amazon, it wasn't Amazon, but just one of those online shopping. It must have been fake. You know how people create things online, and they're like, oh, we're selling this and this and this in different colors. And it was like ropes. And the next post was like, oh, the blue one is selling a little bit more. People need to come grab them while they still can. This was like, it was,
That's
you know,
very
just
inviting.
sharing memes or something like, you know, he probably got it from somewhere else, and they were just going, you know, along. And I was just so disturbed. I was just like, do people actually know what they're sharing, or do they just share just so they have a whole day of sharing memes?
We never care about how we communicate,
Exactly.
especially online. And I feel like we are also losing it in real life, because
We are.
if I don't know, do I say 90% of our lives is online?
Pretty much. I mean, I could believe that because, yeah, like we do a lot of stuff online now.
Yeah.
You have your phone on you most of the time. You know, someone's going to text you on WhatsApp or whatever it is, or you're just going to have some downtime and you're like, oh, let's just see what's on Twitter, or like, let's see what's on Instagram. It's like scroll, or like TikTok. You know, you're just like, haha, share memes, share reels or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like you spend a lot of time on social media, and it's so hard to skip the unnecessary information. It's a big topic, and
It's huge, but we need to have it.
Yeah.
We need to have it.
People need to think through the things that they're sharing online. You know, when I reached out to this person about what they had just shared, they were like, oh my God, I didn't think of it this way. You know, I was like, you need to take this down like yesterday. And they were like, I did not think of it. It was just more of like a haha moment.
But you don't joke about that.
We don't. And it's like, we have got to the point of like normalizing laughing at people that, you know, just content that actually affects people's mental health. And we just take it lightly. And we don't realize that people are actually in real life going through some challenges. And maybe your post is the one thing that will just get them to the next point. And it's just so sad. We don't realize. We just share.
There's a lot of sharing.
There's a lot of sharing. And it's just like, just if you don't understand it, if it doesn't make sense to you, if it's unnecessary, just don't share it, please. Oh, sometimes you just want to just get people and like shake them a little bit. Like, come on.
You know what we just did? We mixed up the whole thing. So I don't know if I put you off track, because the intention for the listener to remember where we are headed. I don't want them to think we have no direction.
I know, it's true.
The initial plan was for us to highlight the gravity of OGBV on women's mental health, and also talk about how impactful social media is generally.
Yeah.
You've talked about that part where people barely rest.
Yes. Yeah.
FOMO.
Oh my goodness. Oh, don't get me started. Because, yeah, speaking of the impact of social media on mental health, especially for women, I see a lot of people that go Monday to Sunday in different events, and
Monday to Sunday.
yeah, Monday to Sunday, they're in different events, you know, out late, and they're posting on social media. So, because this is how you see them.
That's
And
serious.
a lot of this, you know, maybe like Snapchat accounts that we subscribe to, and you're like, when do you get time to sleep? If you're working Monday to Sunday, you're going to
A party.
until maybe like 3-4 a.m. and you're at work at, let's say, 9 or earlier than that. When do you sleep? And we're looking at them like, oh, she must have the time of her life. You know, because you're going through social media and they seem to be so happy. And so like, yes, I'm having so much fun. So you as an outsider, you're looking like, wow, they have a good life. They're able to go out every day. And it's like, because you have this FOMO of like, what's wrong with my life? Do I not have friends? You know? Like, are they just not inviting me to things? You're just like, should I be doing something different? So it falls on both sides of where like this person, you know nothing about their real life.
Right.
All you're seeing is what they're posting on social media. And they're probably stressed out.
And they're coping.
In very ineffective ways, you know? And they're probably not sleeping. So this not being able to sleep is affecting them in different ways, you know? So that's their story. And then you on this end, you're looking at like, oh my God, like they have a lot of money. So they're probably going out every day.
I'm missing out on the fun.
I'm missing out on the fun. Maybe I should be doing these things. Maybe I don't have. Then it starts making you question yourself. Do I not have friends? Is something wrong with me? Like, what am I doing with my life? You know, everyone is traveling and having a good time. How come I don't have that money? And then it's pushing you to make funny decisions of how you get money because you want to live this life that you're seeing this person is living or not living.
Yeah.
So both sides, it's just like there's FOMO, and now it's pushing you to feel so bad about your life and making, you know, different decisions about maybe if I get this deal, or let me, you know, what is this person doing to get this money that I need to be doing as well? You know, am I just not a likable person that I'm not invited to things? So it's just...
I've realized how we lived life differently. Because I'm wondering, there are people who are admiring their friends to call them. Because me, there's a time, as guilty as I can be, there's a time when a friend put a program, I think, must have been in the middle of the week, or maybe a Friday, I don't know. But it required me to first go home and change. And then meet them. Dude, if I've left town and I'm in the house, I'm in the house.
That's it.
So I literally tiptoed out of town, making sure that, hey, she better not call to find out where I am. And then she called me, I didn't pick. And then I took a selfie in my bed like, hey, man, I'm in bed, I forgot.
Oh, man. Yeah. There's your kind of people, and then there's other people that are like, can you call me? You didn't call me? You know, back in the day, like when we had really like barely any social media, like you'd hear about an event or like a party your friends had, let's say at school. You're like, oh, you guys did this and we did this and did that. Oh my God, we went to this thing. And you're like, well, sucks, but you know, it's done now. But now with social media, you can see it in real time.
Real time.
And you're just like, it's, you know, 3:51. And people are out having fun. These guys are at a lunch or whatever it is, and I'm not there. Like, they didn't invite me. You know, that was sad. And you're just like feeling sad in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like,
How dare they?
How dare they? And it's just, it could have an effect on your like self-esteem.
Right.
It could have an effect of just you and how you relate with your friends, because now you're carrying a grudge around.
Yeah.
It could affect just what you think about your life. Maybe I'm boring. Maybe maybe I'm broke, and that's why they don't invite me to things.
Yeah.
And all this is just social media and how it has affected us in different ways we don't even realize. So yes, we're still on the topic.
I was gonna ask you, how far have I deviated?
No, this is good. This is good because I feel like it's all meshed together.
It is,
because we want to appreciate social media, and we want because, you know, it has so many good things about it, and there's also bad things where people are using it to their advantage to be violent. So we want to acknowledge both sides, because we can't just trash it. We just want people to be more open-minded and know that you can go on social media and get your word out there and use it to the best of your benefit. And there's also going to be people that are going to use it to their disadvantage.
Right.
So you just need to have your eyes open and know how to navigate social media in a healthy way.
Know how to navigate social media in a healthy way. That part.
Yes.
That part.
Yes.
So when we were having the conversation earlier, they talked about how it's not good to advise women to be resilient.
Oh.
And for me, I didn't think about it in that moment. But after going away from the event and thinking about the whole conversation, and also I'm trying to find the comment with the questions that were directed to you, our lovely guest. Where is it? It's right here. This is Sita Victoria. One of the questions, I'm going to read everything.
Okay.
How should we protect ourselves from online violence that sometimes materializes in the physical? Sometimes it's easy to brush off some violence and say it's just social media, but I've had some women get rape threats online. We've talked about that. It's even unthinkable that someone can threaten to rape another, but I don't think such threats should be taken lightly.
No, they shouldn't.
So how do we stay safe in this something? Is this something that can be reported to the police? I think that should be covered by the police officers, and not to take it as mere social media banter. How do we manage our mental health living in the physical versus virtual world? Where is the resilience part? Did I miss it?
We can talk about it regardless.
Oh, cool. But I saw it somewhere. Oh, I think she shared in the
live.
No, she must have shared with me on the voice note. Yes, because she was saying she finds it problematic that they tell women to be resilient, and then also in the live conversation there was that part. I don't like the idea of telling women to be resilient. And when I thought about these two concerns, it communicated to me that I think people are understanding resilience to mean strong,
right,
or just ignore it.
Exactly, and I think because when you look at the definition of resilience, it will tell you like being able to withstand or like come back from like challenging situations quickly. However, this could be misinterpreted in just forget about it. Snap out of it. Very dismissive way of dealing with things. When someone tells you to snap out of it, or just don't take it too seriously, you're not the first person. Oh, they say these things. It's a joke. Don't take it too seriously. They're telling you to shut your feelings down. They're telling you to just ignore how you're feeling, what you're thinking, that it means nothing to, like it's not going to help you. And this is not what resilience is. It could be this in like different context. However, in the mental health side of it, it's just more of like, okay, let me be resilient by acknowledging my feelings about this.
Right.
And also doing something about them. How am I coping with the depression that has been triggered by a social media comment?
Right.
How am I dealing with this depression? I am going to, let's say, see a therapist. I am doing a digital detox by getting off of social media for some time.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's hard to avoid the negative comments. When you keep scrolling, you're going to see a negative comment every now and then. And it's just going to keep re-triggering you. You're going to keep seeing material on social media that is going to just trigger you.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's useful to just get off for some time, or block accounts that will get you to that place that you don't want to get to or you're trying to get out of. And this is you being resilient, trying to come out of this difficult situation. And I want to say the word quickly in quotes because it kind of puts a thing like, it makes you think that it has a certain time. Like you're supposed to snap out of things within a week or a day. It's like, no, it shouldn't be the case. They're not rewarding you for how quickly you came out of, a depression or how you snapped out of like the comment that someone made.
Yeah.
You're not getting rewarded for that. So by someone telling you like, quickly, you need to do it quickly, snap out of it, it's very dismissive. And those feelings, negative feelings, even if you try to shove them down, they will come out somehow.
They will come out.
They will come out one way or another. So I don't know if that helps answer that resilience part of things. When we talk about what do people do to navigate social media in a healthy way, one thing is just, like I said, digital detox. So every now and then, just cut some things out. Another thing is to remember a lot of people post things that they want people to see. They want you to see them happy. They want you to see them in happy relationships and having the time of their lives, traveling. They don't show you that they're not eating.
Yeah.
They don't have food for the night. They're not showing you how they're like in their room crying. or suffering from like stress at work because they're not sleeping well. They're not showing you those parts about themselves. And it's so important for people to remember that social media is not necessarily real life. I just want to post and show people that I'm happy, even if deep inside I am just struggling.
Yeah.
So people need to remember that. There's so many people that are, keeping up appearances on social media. So try to remember this while if when you get to a point of like you're now starting to beat yourself up for what you are not doing.
The standards that you aren't meeting.
Exactly. And then when it comes to people being rude or mean on social media, just block these accounts. Sometimes this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Just block the accounts, make your account private, just so you keep out any type of like drama or just unnecessary type of people. Just block, report. Now there's all the social media platforms have that report.
I don't trust them.
You think, yeah? At least, okay.
Because abuse is still ongoing.
True.
And they're censoring people over things that aren't, that don't make sense.
Yeah, some platforms are really like I think you should really focus on this without, someone is actually being abusive online, but you're so worried about this particular post that I made. So they're kind of like picking and choosing, and it's like...
I don't trust the report.
So, okay, I'll say block then.
Yeah, just block those accounts. Zuckerberg is not going to help you.
Yeah.
I don't trust his team.
Because some people are like,
because if we're talking about this violence or OGBV going on, these conversations, this is not the first OGBV conversation that is being had.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the podcast, but they have been held, I don't know for how many years. But if you're still having women's nude pictures circulating and people are having even videos themselves and nothing is done, they're untraceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really don't... Zuckerberg is not your buddy. Or who owns Twitter now?
What's his name?
Is Elon Twitter?
Elon, yeah.
Elon is not your friend. Elon is just out there making money. Now he's selling the blue badges or ticks, whatever that thing is.
Right. They're more worried about numbers than anything.
So block the account.
Just block it. And for many of these things, comments sit with us. They affect our mental health in so many ways. And if you feel like you're still struggling, seek out help. Talk to people, go to therapy, because sometimes people make comments and maybe this is something that has been there, something that like an insecurity that you've had for some time. And when someone, points it out, unfortunately on social media, it does trigger some more feelings in there. And this is probably something you need to talk to someone about and just learn some ways to, appreciate who you are, what you look like, and just process with the therapist. And that way you build some more like thick skin going forward.
Yeah.
And I would say the other thing, just be kind to yourself. We forget to be kind to ourselves. And that's what I was talking about with body shaming, because these are some things that we can't change, So just be kind. Understand that this is my body. This is what I look like. This is what I identify as. And I love it. Teach yourself. And these are things you can do in also therapy, like just learning to appreciate yourself and getting some more like, self-love. That way, when someone says something, it might not affect you as much as it would have if you had not kind of developed this like thick skin.
Yeah.
So just be kind. Know that this is not something I can change in the blink of an eye.
And also be kind to the people that you're relating.
Yes, please.
The comment section.
Just, you don't know
when someone adds you on their friend list. Like if Zuckerberg is saying you are friends now. Really? What kind of friendship is that?
And it's like this thing, people say this a lot. It's like, be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And this applies online as well. Like I was talking about, you could be the one comment that brings life into this person.
Right.
You could be the one comment that takes it away from this person. So just be kind, man. Just be kind. Like, it's so sad that people make mean comments and it's like, what are you getting out of this, really? Like, are you going to bed, happy at night knowing that you made someone's life hell?
I don't know how they sleep.
I mean, some people are psychopaths though, so
yeah.
They don't care.
I have to amplify that.
It's just so sad. It's like, just have a heart. It could be said, this could be your daughter they're speaking to like this. This could be your sister, your mom. And how would you feel?
Yeah.
just be kind to people. You don't know what impact you're making in their lives.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you see how you're tearing us, you guys. Be nice, man.
Just be nice.
Okay, not nice, kind. I learned that there's a difference. Being nice and being kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be kind.
Oh, man.
Let's not make noise about this thing again.
Unfortunately, we just have to be the ones to empower ourselves to face the, I would say, evil that's out there. Because you have very little to do about changing someone's mindset. You have to start with yourself. You have to be empowered enough to know that if this person says this about me online, I appreciate myself enough to not let it get to me as much because I don't know who the other person is. However, many things I could say, it might not get through to this person. So what I can do is just have some, take care of myself.
Yeah. And
then just pray and hope the other person also, gets some fixing.
But also, it is important for me to tell other women, if you can fight, please.
Right. Don't be bullied. Don't be bullied into silence. Because this is what these people are trying to do. They're trying to bully you into silence. And when you give in to that, they know that they've won and they'll do it to the next person.
Fight.
So if it's like, if you have the strength to fight and you have the, energy to do it.
Be the woman king.
Yes. Fight for your rights online. This is these platforms are free for everyone. No one should be driven out of them just because of someone being mean.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yes, please. If you're able to fight.
Fight. We don't have the weapons, but
you could use your words. Use your words. Words, are strong as well. Because if this person is using words in comments, you can,
you have the
use
keyboard,
the same energy.
You have the fingers.
It's type.
Do it.
I mean, we're not condoning violence. We're not condoning violence. We're just like, you could create awareness or educate this person or put them in their place respectfully, not giving back the violence, but just educating them and letting them, you just let them be, I don't know if you can use this word on...
Yeah, and Lorna on a different side. Hey, if you want to fight, you fight. Hey. You see, no, you know why I'm saying you fight? If you can, that is, if you have the mental strength to hold this fight. Because, you are expected as a woman.
Oh my goodness.
Don't
even start.
What do they say? How do you be? What's the word?
Oh God, it's like...
Elegant.
Oh yeah, be... what's
elegant
the word?
Women don't...
Ladylike.
Thank you. They don't do that. Yeah, if you're seeing me, I'm a lady, then why are you bullying me? I'm supposed to be, royal-like. Treat me like a royal. If you're coming ghetto...
Then two can play this game.
You found me in the ghetto. I don't know what your last words are for the listener to walk away with. And before the last words, where can they find you? Because you're a therapist. You've talked about the importance of people finding therapy when they're struggling with these emotions and they can't figure out how to get out of the dark.
Yeah, definitely. People can find me online. We have a website, Kampala Counseling Services. That's kcsug.com. They can also call me 0741 056 164. So you can call me, schedule an appointment, text on WhatsApp. Social media. Speaking of social media, kcs.dbt on Instagram, kcs_dbt on Twitter, and then Kampala Counseling Services on Facebook. So reach out. Usually good with responding. If you give me a call, if you text me, just be mindful of time, because if you text me at 2 a.m., probably not going to answer until the next day. So, but yeah, that's how people can reach out to me. If you go on Google and just, Kampala Counseling Services, all this information will show up and you'll have the website and everything is on there. So reach out. And then last words, I would say, I think it's going to be just the same thing. We can't really avoid negative comments or all that stuff on social media. We just have to learn how to navigate it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So if you you just need to really pay attention to your body, pay attention to your emotions, thoughts. And if a comment is sitting with you for a while, there's something you need to pay attention to in yourself, and also just with this comment or this particular account. So just be mindful. And when you're feeling like, just, your gut.
Yeah.
Something is not sitting well with you. There's something you need to do about it. And think of the best, if it would make you feel comfortable to just block this account, or just to get off social media for some time, or to address someone, put someone in their place on social media. Do what you feel like would make you feel most comfortable in a healthy way as well.
Yeah.
So we just keep our minds open, especially with women. Like, we're a big target on social media, and just be kind to yourself, be kind to people around you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anytime. I'm always excited to come here. I feel like I'm just having a conversation.
It is a conversation.
Because sometimes you look at the mics and you're like, oh, this person, we're just talking. So it's always exciting to come here. So, and it's like I'm talking to like an audience, and maybe someone out there is just like listening.
Yeah.
It's nice. So thank you for always having me.
Thanks to MCA Radio for giving us the space as well.
Woohoo.
How digitally fit are you? Was, still is, and forever will be a moment of reflection for all of us to gauge whether we are victims of abuse or the abusers, or just healthy users keen on making digital spaces safe for anyone and everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Hashtag with Nakabuye and I. If you loved what you heard, make sure you subscribe to Hashtag with Nakabuye and I in your podcast platform of choice, and share it with your friends, loved ones, and everyone that you believe is affected by the millennial world around us. Also, feel free to share your insights about what connected with you on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are at Hashtag with Nakabuye and I on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter our handle is at HTNK Podcast. Catch you next week. Remember to be digitally fit. Make digital spaces safe for everyone and anyone. Ciao.